Welcome back or welcome to another episode of the Sports Mixtape. Here's what we have on tap today. A little NBA All-Star Weekend recap. We have some hope after this last game. We're also going to be talking pitchers and catchers reported last week to spring training. That means spring is around the corner, warmer temps coming. We're going to be doing a little bit of MLB talk today, mostly on what our teams did in the offseason, a few big offseason moves and acquisitions. And then we've got a really fun top 5 pitchers and catchers theme today. You're not going to want to miss that. And then we'll wrap it up with our roundup of what's been going on in the world of sports this week. Going to be talking a little Pebble Beach. And I know the big guy down there with the Wolfpack hat on is going to be excited to throw a little shade at Jimbo. So, you guys ready?
Let's do this.
All right, All-Star Weekend. Where do you guys want to start? We want to go 3-point contest, dunk contest, or this new format game?
Let's start with the shot that Steph Curry made from the NBC broadcast booth.
And he's coming back next year.
Awesome.
He's going to be competing, going for his 3rd title next year.
The guy just makes the most ridiculous shots always.
It's crazy. He's always made shots like that. It's just...
But I think that kicked off the 3-point contest, right?
Incredible. Yep, and we had a 3-time winner. You know, Brad was talking last week about Larry Bird, his iconic All-Star moment where he called a shot.
Yep.
Dame Lillard coming back, getting his 3rd 3-point contest. The 3-point contest is always fun to watch.
He just has such a smooth shot, Lillard.
I want to see him
watching him play.
I want to see him back on the court and healthy because he'll just pull up from like the logo.
Dame time.
Well, you know, the mid-court.
It's Dame time. It's Dame time. The 3-point contest is always really fun to watch. I was pumped to see that Steph's going to be competing again next year. And I honestly really like the one year that they had Sabrina versus Steph. You know, as the WNBA has gained some traction, I think you'd get some eyeballs on it doing some sort of a co-ed.
You need the stars in there. I mean, let's be real. I like the 3-point and the dunk and all that, but it's way better when you have the superstars.
Well, that brings me to the dunk contest because I've got to be honest. I didn't even.
Who was in it?
Listen, I saw like the last maybe 2 or 3 dunks in the contest. We've got to figure out a way to get Anthony Edwards, Zion, Ja Morant. We've got to figure out a way to get your young superstars interested back in the dunk contest. How about VJ Edgecombe? I mean, wouldn't you want to see that guy this year?
I want to see any star in there.
Anyone other than a G League player.
Well, I don't know even know who the guys were that in the finals.
First off, guys on the All-Star team. Let's just start with that.
Let's start with that.
Instead of these guys.
Now, the 2 finalists had a couple nice dunks, but let's talk about Jackson Hayes.
Yeah, but they're also...
What is that?
And these guys were also missing dunks. Bring back the pressure.
The finals,
Bring back the pressure. You don't get a timer.
I know, and the guy in the finals, you know, the dude who won, he won because the other dude couldn't make his final dunk.
Exactly.
Like, that's terrible.
How about Jace Richardson? Did you see the dunk he missed and slams the back of his head on the floor?
Oh, I saw
This was
that,
comical.
Yeah.
He has someone throw it off the side of the backboard. He goes up, clips the backboard, goes down.
I will say this. If you watched any highlights from Saturday, which was the, I guess, celebrity game, slam dunk, 3-point, there was nobody in the stands. I mean, it was empty in there.
Well, when you started at 2 o'clock LA time, you know, they ran into a conflict schedule-wise with the Olympics. And so the actual All-Star game, Sunday night, started at 2 o'clock LA time.
Yeah, I mean...
it started to fill in, obviously, as the game started. But that's where I took some hope out of this weekend. We had a new format this year, 3 teams. We had 2 U.S. teams, one of kind of OG old heads, one of the young up-and-comers, and then the world team. And I really was not sure how this was going to pan out and play out.
I thought the world team was going to dominate.
It was round-robin style, so each team was basically playing a 12-minute quarter. And I tell you what, Anthony Edwards mentioned it twice. After the first game and when he accepted his MVP award, that Victor Wembanyama, Wemby, set the tone for the weekend. He came out playing defense. He threw down that thunderous dunk right away. You saw what we wanted to see in this contest. You saw blocks. You saw steals. You saw fouls. Buzzer beaters. Guys were getting after it and playing with a sense of pride. The hometown guy, Kawhi Leonard, went nuclear in that one game.
The old heads wanted it. I think they ran out of juice.
They looked like us in an over 40 league
I
game
mean,
by the time the end came around. But this was exciting. You saw competition again.
Well, even with Wembanyama setting the tone for the world, Jokic and Doncic did nothing to help out. They still played the old school, do nothing NBA All-Star
unfortunately
game. But maybe next year they'll catch on.
Now, I do think. Do you know how much the winners of the NBA All-Star game get?
I don't.
No.
So the winners get $125,000 each.
Bump that up to $1 million apiece.
Exactly my point. You want to see these guys play.
Yep.
Make it way more lucrative. Pump up that price. I mean, you're a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
Well, $50 million a year isn't enough, so add that extra incentive.
Yeah.
Right?
So, and also, I feel like I'm getting in Freddie's corner right
Why
here.
don't you?
Do it.
Right off the bat, but
I got one for
Spicy.
bump up the prices,
today.
and then the ticket prices. I mentioned no one was there, right? So for Saturday night, ticket price started at $810. All right? You want to bring your kid to an All-Star game, you're not paying that.
No.
All right? All-Star game night, tickets for the upper levels started at $1,000 and started at $3,000 for the lower levels. You wonder why the stands aren't packed. I mean, people are not going to pay that kind of money to go and see that. It just, you got to, it's supposed to be a friendly, fun event, but that's my gripe. I'm going to get out of Freddie corner now.
You make the game better. You fill the arena. Ticket sale, prices can go down that way.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was really nice seeing those guys actually compete for a little bit. And I actually thought it was a format that works because you're giving the guys breaks, whether you play the two first games and sit for a little bit. And I think that's been a big issue is...
Well, no one wants to be left out of the final.
Yeah.
So they're going to play somewhat.
And we saw that competitive pride kick in a little bit. I still would like to see East versus West again. These teams
I do miss that.
But you know one of my favorite moments though, and I'm curious to hear Jimmy's thoughts on this as a Knicks fan. It was kind of fun watching teammates go against each other because Jalen Brunson absolutely cooked Karl Anthony Towns when he was trying to guard him on that one. He had him in the blender on spin cycle.
Probably happens every day in practice. Towns knew he was done.
No, it was great. But again, exciting to see. I think the NBA is realizing they have a tanking problem. And I think they're realizing they maybe have a
gambling problem,
the gambling issues, but the load management issues. The season may be too long. The game is played at a much faster pace now, so you're seeing all these soft tissue injuries. And then this was a big one. An All-Star game should be like super exciting, fun to watch. Let's get the stars back in the dunk contest.
I completely agree.
Anything else you guys have from All-Star Weekend?
Nah, that about sums it up.
Okay. Well, besides the weather in February has one of my favorite things, and this is when pitchers and catchers report to spring training. It means the American pastime is getting close. Starting to smell the peanuts and popcorn in the air.
I love it.
Listen, Jimmy and I
season awaits us.
Jimmy and I had the pleasure a few years ago. His grandparents were living down in Port St. Lucie, so we decided to take a road trip down there and go see Mets-Dodgers spring training action. If you haven't done it, do yourselves a favor, especially if you have kids. This is the chance to interact with players. Jimmy and I are watching the game, and who comes strolling up a couple seats behind us? Tommy Lasorda, Omar Minaya. We're listening to them talk baseball, chop it up.
Yep.
It's a really fun experience, and like I said, baseball is coming. What a lot of these young kids may not know, I know football has kind of taken over as like the dominant sport in America, but when we were growing up, elementary school, middle school, high school, baseball was where it was at. It was the most popular sport, so I'm excited to start touching on some baseball again as we move on.
Yeah, I love baseball. It's always been my favorite sport, and I'm excited to talk about it.
So Jimmy, why don't you start us off then? The Yankees had a pretty quiet offseason. I want to know what you think about that.
Yeah, the Yankees didn't do much. They brought back 22 of 24 guys from their ALDS roster. I'm really excited for the pitching staff. Max Fried, Garrett Cole, Rondon, Schlitter. I think that's going to be a strength for them. But I think they're just going to try and run it back, which, look, the Blue Jays, got stronger this offseason, so it's going to be tough to do. But look, I have faith in the Yankees. They usually always do pretty well. So we'll see what happens.
And, you know, the other side of New York, we have our beloved Mets, Brad. A lot of changes this offseason, a lot of fan favorite vets being shipped out or leaving in free agency, but we also made a flurry there. Mets fans were starting to get a little antsy. We brought in some good names. I've got, you know, it's maybe the gift and the curse of a Mets fan. I'm hopeful again this year going into the season. What did you think about the Mets offseason, Brad?
As a fan, you know, and you have fan favorite players, it stung to see a couple of these guys walk. Yeah. I really would have loved to see Brandon Nimmo stick around.
He was so steady, steady.
Got it done when you needed him to. And then Polar Bear, Pete Alonso.
That one hurt.
And it's tough to watch him walk to Baltimore.
I know.
I wish him the best. Finish out your career as you started. But yeah, some big pickups in Lewis Robert Jr. and Bo Bichette.
Bichette, I'm super excited.
Bichette's a hitting machine.
He's a stud. He can swing the bat.
Contact hitter. He's always putting the bat on the ball. He's already a 2-time All-Star.
He's got a little pop. Great World Series this last year, too. Shows he can play in the postseason and in those clutch moments.
But Lewis Robert, also a Gold Glove winner, Silver Slugger, All-Star. Bringing in some bats is going to help.
Brought in Polanco. He had 26 home runs last year.
Freddie Peralta. Huge.
That's the big one. That's
two pitchers from the Brewers we took, and they probably had the best pitching staff last year.
And you pair that with McClain, who was a revelation as a rookie last year. Look at Nolan McClain's numbers from last year. If Senga can come back healthy, you know, before the injury, he was dominant last year. This, you know, pitching, you need a good rotation in baseball. We picked up 2 relievers from Jimmy's side of town on the Yankees. Weaver and Harris, I think, was the other one.
You always take the guys that we don't want anymore.
They struggled a little bit down the stretch.
Well, that's what killed us last year was our middle relief pitching. We had Edwin Diaz to close games out, but we lost a lot of games in that between inning 5 and 8. You know.
Yeah.
But speaking of Nolan McClain, Rookie of the Year favorite at plus 370 on DraftKings right now. So even though he played some last year, they'll still consider this year his official rookie season.
Yeah.
But interesting fact about him, former walk-on quarterback at Oklahoma State.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's all-American athlete right there.
But I'm excited for the Mets. We're top 4 or 5 in odds for the World Series.
Look, I like Stearns. Stearns has proven with the smaller market Brewers, getting them competitive year in and year out. It's not an overnight fix. The Mets had a bad habit of overpaying stars who were past their prime, giving up tons of farm system talent. I think it's going to take a few years, but I really like what Stearns is doing, and I think the Mets are going to compete this year.
One thing I hated with the Edwin Diaz going to the Dodgers, they offered him $3 more million a year. The Mets offered him like $63 million a year, I think.
He wanted to win,
or $66 million a year, and he took the 69. That's what he said. He goes,
of course.
I wanted to go to a winning culture. Can't blame him.
One of my losses that slipped through the cracks, you know, obviously you got the guys like McNeil and Nimmo and Polar Bear, but someone I'm really going to miss who I loved watching at the plate was Starling Marte.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was such a steady, consistent bat. I felt like he was a very clutch hitter. Whenever the Mets needed a big at-bat, he would come through. Replacing those guys is going to be tricky, but only time will tell. I do think the Mets are in good hands with Stearns running the baseball operations.
Acuna is going to be missed too. I wanted to see how he developed as a young player.
They get rid of him?
He showed
traded him for Robert. And Luis Robert Jr. a few years ago showed some real potential. He struggled the last 2 years, but the Mets are banking on that potential. Maybe a change of scenery does him good.
I hope so.
Yeah. Couple other big moves. Brad mentioned Pete Alonso to the Orioles. We had Alec Bregman going to the Cubs. I've always enjoyed watching Bregman play. That guy is such quick hands. The Blue Jays picking up starting pitcher Dylan Cease and adding a bunch of relievers. And then look, the Tigers adding Framber Valdez. That pitching staff is going to be elite with him and Screwball, Flaherty, Casey Mize. That's going to be a legit starting rotation in the bigs this year. And I'm excited. Again, baseball has changed. I don't want to go into Freddie's corner. I miss a little bit of the old school pre-analytic baseball where you saw more hit and run, situational baseball, sack bunts, sack flies. You saw pitchers pitch complete games. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later today. But hey, times change, sports evolve. I'm on for it. Let's roll with the punches. And as we get closer to the season, we're going to be doing some fun preview stuff. We're going to each be picking division winners, playoff scenarios, home run leaders, ERA leaders, Cy Young, you name it. Winner. We're going to have a really fun MLB preview once we get a little closer to the season.
Well, with that being said, I've got a few futures written down, just some odds if you guys wanted to hear them, as far as like World Series odds, home run leader odds, Cy Young odds.
Yeah.
So starting out with Aaron Judge being the home run leader at plus 350. And he's also the MVP leader at 225.
Hard to go against.
You got Screwball with Detroit, back-to-back Cy Young winner, going for his third in a row. He's a favorite at plus 350. Big thing with him this year, he's an unrestricted free agent after this year. And he'll be on the market for anything.
He's going to want a lot of money.
Watch the Dodgers get another one.
No.
Shohei Ohtani, he's a favorite for MVP in the National League at minus 125.
Whew.
Yeah, he's the hands down.
Minus 125.
They're basically saying if he stays healthy, he's winning the MVP.
Paul Skeens, favorite in his league for at plus 225 for the Cy Young. Nolan McLean, favorite for Rookie of the Year, plus 370. And Dodgers are the favorite at plus 230 for the World Series.
Dodgers are not three-peating.
No.
Baseball is a game of a lot of different things, but it's about getting hot at the right time. The Blue Jays had the Dodgers last year. They had them. I think there's a lot of energy from the rest of baseball against what the Dodgers are doing.
Teams are going to play hard against them this year.
It is
for sure.
It's a long season, is all we can say. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, speaking of baseball and pitchers and catchers reporting, we decided to do a fun top five. Now, this top five, let me clarify some things. This is not who we think the best pitchers and catchers were in our lifetime. This is who were our favorite guys to watch, to root for. So we're going to be starting with catchers. We're going to give the catchers a little love. It's that position that often gets overlooked, can be the heart and soul of a team. There's a reason you see so many catchers become managers post-playing career.
Yeah.
These guys are really smart. They know the ins and the outs of the game.
There's a bunch front of the house in these organizations now, too.
Absolutely. Backup catchers. I read this book several years ago. It's called The Tao of the Backup Catcher. And it talked about how a backup catcher who usually plays once every 5 or 6 games is usually paired to a certain pitcher. There's usually a starting pitcher who loves throwing just to this guy.
Okay.
How important they were as clubhouse guys. It was a great read.
Yeah.
So we're going to be starting with catchers. I'm going to kick this one off, guys. We're going to be going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. But number 5 on my list, and I'm actually curious about this because I think if we were doing best of, and the other caveat, you're not going to see Yogi Berra on this list. You're not going to see Johnny Bench. These are guys that were during our lifetime. Yeah. Guys that we actually watched, cheered for, cheered against. Some of our favorite guys to watch at the craft. So I'm going to start this one off, and I'm curious because I think this is going to create some variety, the way that we're doing this. Number 5, I'm giving a little love to the Pittsburgh Pirates. They don't get much love because they've not been good for a long time. I've got Jason Kendall at number 5.
Yeah.
He was a leadoff hitter at catcher. The most stolen bases in the post-dead ball era. So I had to do a little research. What is the post-dead ball era? Started in 1920. Babe Ruth had a lot to do with this. This is when baseball went from being mostly a pitching-dominated, defense-dominated to more hitting and runs. Jason Kendall holds the all-time record for most stolen bases in the post-dead ball era with 189. This guy was a stud. Could swing the stick, 288 career average, over 2,100 hits. I know Brad will like this. He was a no batting gloves guy.
I was just going to say, he was no batting gloves, right?
Had a gruesome injury in 1999. Stepped on the first baseman's foot.
That was terrible.
Nasty ankle fracture dislocation. I just want to put some perspective out there for you. He played 78 games that season. So before the All-Star break, he was hitting .332, 22 stolen bases. I think he had 6 home runs. He was an extra base hit machine. He would hit doubles. He would hit triples. This guy had wheels. His dad was a Major League Baseball player. So Jason Kendall is my number 5. Scrappy, gritty guy you wanted behind the plate.
Yep.
Yeah, Kendall is a great player. You want me to go next?
Yeah, why not?
I'm going to go my number 5, Sandy Alomar Jr.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Sandy Alomar, he came into the league 1988, so I was a young tyke, but he was like an instant star. Rookie of the year, starter of the All-Star game his rookie year. But that was back in a time when a lot of catchers were like bulky. He was like a smooth, athletic catcher, had a great arm, could steal bases, he could hit. But he was just, and I remember this because he used to crush me when the Indians used to play the Yankees.
Yeah.
And he actually had a home run that I absolutely hate, but it was a 97 ALDS, hit a 2-run shot off of Mariano Rivera. But yeah, Sandy Alomar Jr., just a guy that I used to love to watch play.
That was one of the most exciting World Series of all time, that Cleveland Indians, Florida Marlins World Series.
Oh, yeah.
Game
Marlins
7,
won
just
that.
down to the finish. Truly incredible World Series that year. All right. Nice choice there, Jimbo.
All right. My number 5, Kansas City Royals, Salvador Perez.
Nice choice.
Right? Salvi.
It's a big boy.
Big guy. He was like the cornerstone of that team for so long.
Yeah.
Still is. He's still currently playing.
Yeah.
Now, he's played his entire career since 2011 with them. 9-time All-Star, 5-time Gold Glove winner. 2015, this one hurts me and you, Brent.
It's one of the funnest teams to watch. I hate to say it because they took out our Mets, but that Royals team was so scrappy.
Yep. He was the World Series MVP. He hit .364 in that World Series. Two doubles, 2 RBIs, but clutch hits when it mattered. But yeah, to hit over 300 in a short series.
Yeah.
That went to Game 7, didn't it?
No. 5. Unfortunately.
I could dream.
That one hurt. Tree trunk legs, and he
just a monster.
Power hitter too.
Yeah.
In multiple seasons.
Was he ever in the home run contest?
I don't know.
I want to say he was in it. He may have been.
Probably.
But yeah, so far 300 plus career home runs, 1,000 plus RBIs. Fun fact: he grew up playing childhood ball with Jose Altuve since they were like 6 years old.
Yeah.
Playing with and against each other.
Great
but
selection.
Salvador Perez.
All right.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I want to see him keep playing.
That's one of those guys where we talked about catchers, shortstops often being the heart and soul of a team. He's definitely the engine of that Royals team, because that Royals team lost in 14 to the Giants.
Mark my words, though, he'll be working in the organization. He's one of those guys, he's lifelong with the team, and there's a couple other on my list who are like that, who are current presidents of operations.
And look, we're going to get, I've got quite a few Puerto Ricans on my list. The Puerto Ricans produce some catchers. But look, the Latinos just play with such a joy. And Perez is another one of those
joy
guys.
To the field.
I'm watching YouTube videos today, and it's very, nostalgic. And there were so many, obviously they're showing like the career highlights of these guys. There's so many playful moments, though, where these guys grow up typically in not the best living conditions. Some of them don't even have gloves.
They're always slapping ass in the locker room.
And they typically, when they get to the U.S. and start playing, they all tend to put on some weight because they're finally eating on a regular basis, 3 meals a day. But my number 4, I have a feeling you guys are going to have this one higher on your list. We're going to get the first Puerto Rican in here, Pudge Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's on my list.
Is he on y'all's list? Okay, I'm going to leave a little ammo for you guys. 13-time Gold Glover, obviously most for a catcher. Absolute cannon for an arm. When I say cannon, I mean cannon. I'll let you guys give a few stats later on, but Pudge played 21 seasons in the major leagues.
Yep.
The power of AI. This came up during my research. It was estimated that during his career, Pudge Rodriguez squatted over 107,000 times. That's a lot of times behind the plate. Jimmy was talking about the Sandy Alomar Jr. build. Pudge had the opposite build. He looked like what you would think.
Like a mini fridge.
Looked a wrestler. Looked like what you would think a catcher would look like. And again, an absolute cannon for an arm. During his MVP season, he threw out 55% of base runners, which is a ridiculous number. So I've got Pudge at number 4 on my list. I'll leave you guys a little ammo for that one.
All right, my number 4. These guys are gonna hate it, but I have a guy that was meant to be a catcher. He really looked like a catcher, and that's Brian McCann. And so he was like, he had the old school toughness, but he was also a pretty good power hitter. He averaged 20 to 25 home runs a year in his prime. But this dude, it was like, he was the team protector. You didn't mess with anyone on his team. Whether he was on the Braves or the Yankees, he was not afraid to get into it with people and get in your face. But
and I think he was a homegrown Georgia boy.
Yeah, but I love catchers like that they have that toughness. Like when you look at him, you think of that's what a catcher should be. But
that enforcer mentality. Yeah. You know, the guys that go after him.
He was a husky guy. He had a beard. He just, The
Veritex of the world.
Yeah. But yeah, Brian McCann, he was a lot of fun to watch
he
play.
ripped up the Mets for years. He was a stud. A staple of those Atlanta teams. I don't think so.
No.
All right, Brad.
Number 4?
Number 4, Brad.
Let's go with the Giants, Buster Posey.
Great choice.
Just like all-American kid, Played from 2009 to 21. I think this is another one. Full tenure with the Giants.
Yep.
Didn't leave a team. He's the current president of baseball operations over there. 3-time World Series champ.
Those Giants teams.
And he was
legit.
He was clutch in all of those World Series.
Yep.
2010 NL Rookie of the Year, all kinds of accolades. 2012 NL MVP. After winning the batting title, he batted .336 that year.
Yeah.
7-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger, Gold Glove winner. Then he had that devastating injury. Playing against the Marlins, he got trucked at home plate.
His leg was caught behind him.
It was nasty. Yeah. They ended up making the Buster Posey rule to protect base runners and catchers, which is still in effect today. And you don't see those collisions at home plate anymore.
I wish you still did. To be honest,
it's fun part of the game, but
not for the catcher's sake. But I mean, there was nothing like watching a game and just a collision at home.
And Brad's right. Posey, natural-born leader.
Yeah. Yep.
Not surprised to see him working in the front office. He had a great college career at Florida State, too.
Yep.
Superstar, one of those superstar college players.
But along with Pete Rose, they're the only 2 players to ever win Rookie of the Year, MVP, and 3 World Series.
It's impressive.
But I did have one interesting fact about his college career. In one game, he played all 9 positions.
Oh, wow.
One single game, and he also won the Golden Spikes Award in college as the nation's best amateur player.
I remember him at Florida State.
He just played one position each inning?
He faced 2 batters, struck them both out. And I don't know how that worked, but I don't know if it was like hey coach, I really want to do this.
Probably, I'm sure.
Who knows? But
you guys remember that maybe it was just me. I love baseball. It's my favorite sport. Growing up, favorite sport to play. Do you guys remember the magazine? I remember when I was in college keeping up with like top prospects and whatnot, but Baseball America would always put out its top prospects for each organization, and Buster Posey was always getting love in there, as deserved, as the nation's best college player down there at Florida State. Yeah. So great choice. Number 3. Brad's probably going to have this somewhere on his list. I've got Gary Carter for the Mets.
You know, I left him.
You were a little young. Yeah, you were a little young.
Yeah,
but
I was more Todd Hundley.
Hundley's on my honorable mentions. But Gary Carter, nicknamed the Kid, infectious leader of that 1986 Mets World Series team. That team was a bunch of degenerates. Yeah. A bunch of... Go watch the documentaries. Gary was like... Him and Keith Hernandez, in different ways, were the leaders of that team. Gary was an all-around American boy. Faith was a big part of his life, his Christian faith. 11-time All-Star, 3 Gold Gloves. Here's an interesting tidbit for you. Did you know Gary Carter was the MVP of 2 All-Star games?
Really?
I did not.
Could swing the bat, could play defense, and again, he was just tough as nails. He had that like curly fro.
He put a hitter in a headlock quick.
Yeah, high energy, big smile, and he would wear like that kind of a, you can't see it over there, but like the catcher's hat to bat with like the no ear flaps, and his like curly hair would be coming down underneath it. Reminds me of my childhood. Big part of that 86 Mets World Championship team. He played with the Mets for a few more years before moving on.
Since I was so young when he played, I always thought that Willy Wonka was our catcher.
Gene Wilder. All right, Jimmy, so far, only one, I think, overlap.
All right, what do you want, 3?
Number 3.
All right, I'm going to go with a guy you guys might have, Joe Mauer.
I don't, but great.
Joe Mauer, 2004 to 2018 with the Twins. He had probably one of the prettiest swings in baseball in that 2000s era. Guy used to hit like inside out line drives, opposite field doubles. He won 3 batting titles.
Hardly ever struck out, this guy.
Yeah, and he was one of these catchers. He was not flashy at all. He was like, bring your lunch pail to work. Went in, did the job, and he did it amazingly. But yeah, he was great behind the plate, great hitter, team leader. But Joe Mauer is my number 3. He was just a stud.
Yeah, it kind of lost in obscurity in the early years in Minnesota before they were really good.
Yep.
Another 2-sport high school stud. I believe he had scholarship offers to maybe play football at like Florida State, or he was a quarterback in high school as well, I think. Yeah, all around just great hitter, great contact guy, great average guy. Rarely his strikeout numbers, I think if you look them up, are something like incredible. He rarely struck out. Always put the ball in play.
Yeah, he just had that lefty swing.
Those Twins teams, I feel like every single year the Yankees beat the Twins in the first round of the playoffs. They were always matching up with those Twins teams and sweeping 3-0.
Kirby Puckett back in the day.
Yeah, Santana. Remember Johan Santana was a part of those Twins teams.
Yeah, Joe Mauer unfortunately was stuck on those Twins teams, but
and he was one of those instances. You see it sometimes. You saw it with Buster Posey. You saw it with Mauer. Sometimes catchers get moved to other positions. So he was a guy who eventually did some DHing and playing first base. And I think the rationale behind that is you want to get more years out of these guys, especially these guys that are hitters.
Their legs just get tortured.
That makes what someone like Pudge, what he did, so impressive, playing 21 seasons all behind the plate.
Yep. Well, my number 3 is another impressive Puerto Rican, Yadier Molina.
I got him on my list.
All right, I'll save some facts for you, but yeah,
Yadi,
19 years. This is another single tenure.
One team
with the Cardinals, and he's currently serving as the assistant to the president of operations, working his way up the ladder in the organization.
Another Puerto Rican catching stud.
Yep, but I don't know. He might be, the numbers may not all be there, but he might be the best defensive catcher I've ever watched.
Hands down.
This guy started the whole throwing behind the runners at first base, throwing from his knees. Nobody dared run on him.
No.
Ever. But 2-time World Series champ, I'll leave some stuff for Brent
I got
here.
some good stuff for you.
But the biggest thing was nobody ever tried. I think he set some kind of
it was rare. It was
some
rare
kind of
for guys,
stat of like people trying to steal.
Yeah,
he just didn't do it.
Rare for guys to run against him.
But I do have an interesting fact about him. Huge basketball fan. He's the owner of a professional Puerto Rican basketball team.
Nice.
He actually missed a game or a couple games to go watch his team compete in like the championship, which they brought home.
I agree with Brad. Best defensive catcher I've ever seen play the position.
It was
and
amazing.
I'm going to get into that a little more as we move further down the list. But great choice. Another Puerto Rican as well.
Yeah. Yep.
Playful, joyful, always smiling, always messing around with people when he would get on first base. If Pujols or whoever was playing the position.
Another one built just like Pudge Rodriguez.
A linebacker. Yeah, he's a big
dude. And then his family, too.
His brother.
He's got a lineage.
Two older brothers. Also won multiple World Series, his brothers.
Were they both catchers?
Yes.
Lineage of catchers.
Benji and Jose. Both caught in the big leagues and both won World Series. Wow. He was the youngest brother of those three. And I think the biggest one when you look at like sheer size. So, all right, number 2, I went back and forth with my number 2 and number 1 on this. We have the OG Puerto Rican catcher. Watching this guy play ball reminded me of watching baseball with my dad as a young kid. This was one of Dad's favorite guys, Benito Santiago. Mm-hmm. Came up with the Padres. This guy started the throwing from your knees.
Oh, yeah.
Had an absolute cannon for an arm. And like Jimmy talked about, when you think of catchers, you think of stocky, big guys. He was lean and lanky. So Benito Santiago breaks onto the scene in 1987. His rookie year, he wins National League Rookie of the Year. He bats .300. He also sets a record that still exists today. 34-game hit streak for a rookie and 34-game hit streak for a catcher. This guy could swing the bat. In his prime, he was throwing out runners at a 45% clip when the league average was 30%. Another guy, people rarely ran on him. 5-time All-Star, 4-time Silver Slugger, 3-time Gold Glove. He was a lean and lanky. 2 trivia questions here. 2 trivia answers for you. Benito Santiago hit the first home run in Florida Marlins team history. That franchise team when it came through in 1992. Yeah. He was one of the big pickups, free agent pickups for them. Also had a career resurgence in 2002 for that San Francisco Giants team. Had one of his best seasons ever. Led them to the World Series. I think he was the NLCS MVP the year that they lost to the Angels when Bonds was on that team. Also, he was the first player to ever hit a regular season grand slam against the Professor Greg Maddux.
Oh, really?
So Benito Santiago, absolute stud. If you get a chance, watch clips of this guy throwing out runners from his knees on YouTube. This was before anybody ever did that. So he's my number 2.
Cannon for an arm.
Good one.
All right, my number 2 was mentioned, Pudge Rodriguez.
He's my number 2 also.
All right, like Brent said, the guy had a laser for an arm, super athletic behind the plate or even on the base paths. Just a very athletic dude, especially for his build. 13 Gold Gloves, 14 All-Stars, always smiling, always having fun. But he was a guy, like you said, he played forever. Won a World Series, I believe, at the Marlins.
The Marlins, 296 career average as a catcher.
Yep.
And that, I mean, you talk about that 1999 MVP season he had, hit .332 with 35 home runs, 113 ribbies, and he stole 25 bases that year. Jimmy talking about his speed.
He was just a stud, we were talking about how he had that non-athletic build, but when you watched him play, it didn't even make sense how quick he was.
That year, 99, he won the AL MVP.
Yep.
332 batting average for a catcher.
Yeah.
35 home run. He can mash the ball.
113 ribbies. I mean, he was a stud.
But he was also that World Series MVP with the Marlins.
That was a fun Marlins team.
Do you remember that it was the NLDS that year? They clinched. Well, it was I don't know, maybe Game 5 or something. But it was the last out to clinch to go to the World Series. JT Snow trucked him and he held onto the ball for the final out. That was iconic.
I think that was the Marlins team that beat the Yankees. Josh Beckett had an incredible playoff run. Renteria was a shortstop.
But I do have an interesting fact. I tried to do like an interesting fact off baseball for most of these people, but this guy really had his priorities straight. He was supposed to get married in an on-field ceremony at a minor league game. Well, the night before, the Rangers call him up to the bigs. No wedding.
That was his wedding.
He went up, ditched his wedding to start his Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, why not?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, Pudge, he's one of those like icons of the that era of baseball.
Yeah.
You know, back in the early 2000s, late 90s, just an absolute superstar.
You know, by the way, I didn't add him on here, but I used to actually really like watching this dude play. Another catcher for the Marlins, Charles Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
He was just...
Great defensive catcher.
Yeah, really, I think when I was doing research, I think he started 123 games 1 year behind the plate without committing an error.
Yeah.
Just crazy, but...
All right, my number one, Brad mentioned him, Yadi Molina with the Cardinals. This guy revolutionized the one-hop backhand throwing runners out. So it's one of the hardest things in baseball when a pitcher short hops you. You see most guys go down to block. This guy got so good at just picking it backhand and throwing runners out from his knees. Yadi and Adam Wainwright hold the major league record for most starts and wins by a catcher-pitcher battery in all-time baseball history. They were staples for years. Adam Wainwright was a workhorse for those Cardinals teams. Some of those Cardinals teams gave the Mets problems. They kept the Mets out of the World Series that 1 year. But Yadi was known for his elite game calling. He would call games behind the plate, consistently a sub. So if you don't know what a pop time is, it's the time when the ball hits the catcher's mitt and makes that pop to the time the ball hits the shortstop or second baseman's mitt and makes a pop. Elite pop time. Consistently 195, 2.0, which is an unbelievable time. I learned what a platinum glove winner is in doing some research. You guys know what the platinum glove winner is? I've heard of gold gloves. I had never heard of this.
No.
I do.
So out of all the gold glovers, it's the one who's the best defensive player from either the National or the American League. So they take all the gold glovers, each position, left field, center field, right field.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
He was a four-time platinum glove winner.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, known for defense, but let's not get it twisted. This dude could swing the bat. 277 career average, 19 seasons. He was dependable. He was going to be out there playing. Brad mentioned it, won a few World Series there with the Cardinals. Yadi. Number one.
Well, that World Series hit the go-ahead 2-run home run in the 9th inning, Game 7.
Yeah.
What a moment.
Stud. Absolute stud.
All right. It's a good choice for number one. My number one...
Who could it be?
Jorge Posada.
Great choice.
I left him off the list because I knew he would be
in. Well, it's a great choice.
Look, Jorge Posada... wore everything on his sleeve. He played angry, but in a good way. He was part of the core four for the Yankees, switch hitter. He argued with umpires. He would pump his fists after big hits. He would yell at teammates if they were screwing around or screwing up. And let's face it, October Posada was different. The guy delivered in huge moments in the playoffs and World Series, super clutch, and when he was a catcher, he was just respected around the league. People respected him for being a leader on those Yankees teams. But I'm a little biased, but Jorge Posada to me, favorite catcher ever to watch play.
Jorge had the body type that I think Adam Sandler talks about in Happy Gilmore, wearing the golf pants.
Yeah, he had a catcher's lower half.
For sure. All right, Brad, who do you have with your number one?
Well, I'm going to be a little biased here as well.
I almost picked him, but I left him off as well.
This guy was taken 1,390th in his draft in the 62nd round, only as a favor because Tommy Lasorda had family ties with him.
Yep.
Mike Piazza, LA Dodgers, New York Mets. He was around the league.
The pizza man.
Marlins after.
Yep.
After
Marlins had Santiago, Pudge Rodriguez, Mike Piazza,
Charles Johnson,
great catchers.
Yep.
And he played with the A's too, a little bit, but 12-time All-Star, 10-time Silver Slugger, 1993 Rookie of the Year, Hall of Fame inductee, all-time record for home runs as a catcher with 427. This guy could hit the ball to the moon.
Glorious.
And his swing, it was like he was going to break. It was like Jose Canseco's swing.
It was violent.
Yeah. You would think he'd break the bat over his back on every swing.
Glorious hair, mustache combo.
Oh, he looked like a Mustang.
Like a Head and Shoulders, commercial model.
Big post 9/11 attacks moment. It was the first game back in Shea Stadium, and he hits a bomb. 308 career batting average. Anything over 300 for a career is insane.
Hall of Fame elite level.
And think about all the Hall of Fame pitchers he was going against.
And for a catcher, I don't know if people understand what elite offensive numbers for that position. That is such a tough position on the body. Day in and day. 162 games is a heck of a long season.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the controversy when he was wearing this uniform?
Against Clemens?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not proud of that moment.
So, back in 2000,
Clemens punked him like Veritek punked Rodriguez.
This was during a regular season game, and Clemens put one like right between the eyes on him. 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Put Piazza out of the All-Star game. It made him had to miss the All-Star game. But that year we had the Subway Series for the World Series, which, God, the Mets
wasn't really much of a series.
Sidebar. Do you remember the highlight, as a Mets fan, kind of like Jimmy has to take what he can get with the Jets.
Bobby Valentine coming out of the dugout with a fake mustache on?
Yes, not only that.
That was a great moment.
Do you remember Timo Perez? How fun he was to watch for 1 or 2 years there. He was like the Mets outfielder, had this like breakout coming into the playoffs that year. There wasn't a whole lot to celebrate as a Mets fan in that series.
Timo.
But we go back to the World Series. It's the first time they face each other again. And Piazza shatters his bat, goes towards the mound, and roid-raging Roger Clemens picks it up and throws it right at Piazza as he's running to first base. And Clemens' excuse, he goes, it was instinct. I thought it was the ball. If
what
you thought it was the ball,
what are you playing, wiffle ball?
Throw it to the first base.
Yeah, this isn't wiffle ball. You don't get to hit the guy with the ball.
But Piazza had a great career.
Absolutely.
Just mashed the ball, hit some bomb. The best hitting catcher, I think, of our time.
You could definitely make that argument.
Yeah.
I would say most power and pop, which that was a big thing going on in the late 90s.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of pop in those bats.
That may have been Royd
little
versus
extra
Royd.
juice in those bats.
But I do have an interesting fact about him. He's a big heavy metal fan, and he is a death growler. Ooh. He's laid down some tracks with some bands too.
Oh gosh!
On Black Label Society.
The internet for the win again.
All right,
All right, great list. So, guys, rattle off just 1 or 2 honorable mentions. I had most of you guys mentioned. I had Javi Lopez. Icon back there for the Braves, and then Todd Hundley. Yeah. The Mets had some lean years when Brad and I were rooting for him. It was hard to be a Mets fan, but there was one year Hundley hit like 41 home runs. At the time, it was a record for catchers.
How about Darren Dalton?
Oh man,
Darren Dalton was
great. He
just would He would just mash home runs as a catcher.
Carlton Fisk, another good honorable mention.
This might be the tough as nails catcher, AJ Pierzynski. The guy not afraid to throw hands.
No one liked
mouthy
him.
too. Yeah, not a lot of guys like Brzezinski.
As a base runner, he wasn't afraid to truck over a fellow catcher either.
He wasn't.
All right, so we are going to switch it to the other side of the pitcher-catcher battery. Same rules apply here. Not necessarily the best, but our top 5 favorite pitchers to watch during our lifetime. We'll switch up the order. We'll start number 5 down there with Brad on this one.
Sure. I'm keeping it with another Mets player, Jacob deGrom.
He's on my list as well.
Yeah, this guy, he's playing with the Rangers now, and it broke my heart that we let him walk. I think he's one of the best pitchers in MLB history. He still has more career to go. He is getting up there in age now, but
guy's got a career 2.57 ERA.
2.57 career.
In this era of hitting.
Just couldn't stay healthy.
2-time Cy Young Award winner.
Yep.
Rookie of the Year. Fun fact, he was never a pitcher. He got drafted by the Mets as a shortstop. Didn't even start pitching until the majors.
Shortstop at Stetson.
But the guy, the movement he has, just the nastiest slider ever.
Devastating.
Ever.
Buckled guys with that slider.
Smooth. I love his delivery, his windup. Everything's so simplistic, and he just hammers the ball at you.
Effortless velocity.
You wish he could have stayed healthy. See what that guy could have done during his career.
Now get this. During his 2 Cy Young years, he only had a 10-9 record and an 11-8 record.
Yeah.
And a 1.7 ERA that year in 2018.
It's the only pitcher to win 10 or fewer games with a 1.7 or ERA or lower.
All the Mets had to do was put up 2 runs. In most games, just 1 run.
They will put up 0 runs.
How many no decisions
I can't tell you how many games I watched. In the 8th inning, it was 0-0, and DeGrom would be pulled in the 7th inning.
Yep,
he could not get run support on those Mets teams.
All right, well, I won't say anything more about him. I'll leave it to you, Brent.
Yeah,
you
great.
He's on your list.
He's high on my list. That's a great choice. All right, Jimmy, who do you have at number 5?
Number 5, I'm going to go with Hideo Nomo.
Tornado.
The tornado windup. The delivery. Hideo Nomo, he would turn his back completely to the batter and turn around and sling the ball in.
Dodgers, right? Who he first
Dodgers.
Yeah.
He had a big leg kick, violent whip through release, and he was a strikeout pitcher. It wasn't just all show. I mean, he had a ton of strikeouts. And he was also the first big Japanese star to really make that jump.
Big import,
to the
one
majors.
of the early imports.
One of the early imports. And but yeah, I just remember watching him coming into that league. That wind up and that whip was incredible to watch.
He would almost pause, at the back. He would stop.
He had that wind up when you were playing wiffle ball or catch or something. You'd always emulate.
It was like a show to watch. It was just so much fun to watch a pitcher pitch like that.
Yeah, great choice. All right, my number 5 hails from the great state of North Carolina. He's from out in the Hickory area. You give me one game that I need a win in the playoffs, I'm taking this guy over anybody. Madison Bumgarner for those Giants teams.
Yep.
3-time World Series winner. I just want you guys to listen to these World Series numbers, okay? The guy won 3 World Series. His World Series stats, 4-0 in the World Series with 1 save and a 0.25 ERA. It is the lowest ERA in World Series history. This culminates in 2014. We're talking about that scrappy Royals team, right? So Bumgarner goes out, wins game 1, gives up a run. Game 5, he throws a 4-hit shutout. 3 days later in game 7, he comes in for a 5-inning save. He was an absolute monster. Big, strong lefty, could also swing the bat, 19 career home runs. And I'll tell you, this was not a guy you wanted to make mad.
No.
There's a YouTube compilation of him just getting angry at batters and at other guys. Madison Bumgarner, number 5, just an absolute Big game hunter, playoff beast. He's a guy high on my list.
Good choice.
Back to me?
Yep.
Back to you.
Jimmy, you'll like this one. That number 4, Pedro Martinez.
Another Met.
Also my number 4, Brad.
Yeah, here we go. 92 to 2009, Dodgers, Expos, Red Sox, Mets, Phillies, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, 8-time All-Star. He had a nasty fastball, but it was really a changeup that killed batters.
Elite control, too.
Super elite control. Hall of Famer. Finished a career 2.93 ERA. 3,100 strikeouts.
Listen, 2.93. I got to put a little something on this. He's also my number 4, Brad. This is in the juiced ball, juiced player era. And a 2.93 career ERA is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
No, he was a stud. I mean, he was definitely, if I had to pick a pitcher from like that era, I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
Pedro,
He won.
He can win you any game.
Before he burst on the scene with the Red Sox, too, he played for the Expos when they were unknowns.
He was nasty.
Posted one of the greatest pitching
yeah.
seasons in history in 1997. Yeah.
He was lean, long and lean back then.
5'11", 170.
By the time he got to the Mets, I mean,
I always wanted to hate.
What those Latinos do.
I always wanted to hate him when he was on the Red Sox, but it was like he would break your heart.
He's a fierce competitor. That guy's competitive. He was like a Kobe on the baseball field.
His interviews were always great. He was funny. He had a little bit of flair.
Who's your daddy?
He was not afraid. Yeah. He was great. He would go at that because the New York media and him always had these like battles.
Well, it was kind of fun too. He played along with it.
Yeah.
It
was a great choice, Brad.
The Red Sox retired his number, rightfully so. Big part of that 2004 World Series championship where they brought the Sox out of that drought and the curse.
Yep.
But he won a pitching triple crown. Most wins, best ERA, most strikeouts, all in the same season.
Bulldog competitor.
Now, my favorite memory of Pedro Martinez has to do with a guy named Don Zimmer. This is one, it just tickles.
He should have went to jail for that.
It just takes him by the bald head. Don Zimmer should have went to jail for thinking he was 27, not 72.
That was a Freddie moment. Don Zimmer, that was a Freddie moment.
I remember
right there.
watching that live. I think it was at our house watching the World Series with the family, or the ALCS with the family. And when I saw that happen, I lost it laughing because it reminded me of Freddie, our granddad.
It'd be real scum to beat up an old guy.
Zimmer got up and he just had that like blank stare in his eyes, like
he's bleeding, like he's bleeding from his head.
Like his computer just got reset. He was glitching like an old Nintendo.
Now Zimmer did immediately apologize and say, "Hey, you know, Pedro was reacting to me."
I miss those kind of rivalries too, though, where it was like all out. No one was off go. Like everyone was in play, even the old guys on the team.
This was another incident involving Clemens and throwing at batters. This is when he threw at Manny Ramirez. But Pedro wrote an autobiography, and that he did say that incident was the only regret in his whole career. But he did note he was acting out of pure instinct.
That's good. Jimmy, who you got at number 4?
All right, number 4, I'm going to go Greg Maddux.
Oh,
he's on my list as well.
He's high on my list.
Me too.
So Greg Maddux, look, this guy, he would just slice and dice you.
The professor.
It was incredible to watch. I won't get too much into it, but like, you know, this dude would set you up 2 innings before he would strike you out. Like he would
set you up 2 months.
Yeah, I mean the guy he might have been the most genius pitcher that I've ever seen. But he was so like calm out there too, the way he did everything. And but yeah, this is a guy that you would watch pitch, and you know, of course, he would throw like complete games and under 100 pitch. Just fun to watch. efficient, fun, and
could put a baseball wherever he wanted it, and that two-seamer with the movement.
Yeah,
through darts.
Incredible. We'll talk a little bit more about him because he's coming in high on my list. I had Pedro at number 4 too. Brad touched on most of it. Pedro was a little guy, which I loved, 5'11", 170 pounds. I'm going to take us to 2000. Pedro's 2000 season, in my opinion, is one of the all-time great seasons for a pitcher ever. This is right in the middle of the steroid juiced ball era, right? Balls were flying out of ballparks. We had, what was that one year Brady Anderson hit over 50 home runs? I mean, it was crazy.
I think his sideburns grew extra thick that year, too.
So in 2000, Pedro goes 18-6 with a 1.74 ERA and strikes out 284 batters. Also in 97, when he was with the Expos, he had another year with a 1.9 ERA. This right here, Brad gave a great Pedro story. I'm going to give another one dealing with the Yankees. This sums up Pedro in a nutshell to me. Pedro was fearless on the mound. He didn't give a damn who was in that box. That was his batter's box. This happened with Gary Sheffield of the Yankees. Gary Sheffield calls timeout during an at-bat, which Pedro hated. He hated when a batter would try to break up his rhythm. So you could see Pedro just, and again, YouTube this if you get a chance. You could just see him out there just, he's ticked. Sheffield does it again. Pedro drills him right between the back. And you can see Sheffield's reaction is just as priceless because Sheffield was not a guy you messed with.
No.
I had an opportunity in college to play college wood bat summer leagues. I played really cool, a couple cool teams and situations. My manager one year was Gary Sheffield's best friend growing up and from high school. And he had some stories about Sheff. So you can see Sheffield when he gets drilled in the back, just look at Pedro and is like, not me. Don't do that to me. Like it was this, but that to me is who Pedro was. He did not care. That was his domain. Yeah. And an incredible guy to watch play. So he was my number 4.
Sheffield, another guy you emulated. You always emulate his swing.
He had that. Sheffield's got a kid in the minors who are going to be breaking through soon. He's got a young kid who's a prospect. Yeah, and has the same twitchy wrist as his dad. Yeah. All right, Brad, who do you have for number 3?
I'm probably taking Jimmy's number 1, but let's go with the Sandman.
Mo.
Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, great choice.
Yeah, I have him actually number 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah, I got him number 3 as well.
Well, share this one with me. Career, 95 to 2013. Another full tenure with one team. 19 years with the Yankees.
I'm a sucker for that. A guy who stays with one team his whole career.
Yeah, it's great.
And hands down, I mean, it's not even considered, but it's widely considered the best relief/closer of all time. Most of his career is a setup man and then close games, towards the back end.
Well, early on, set up to Wetland, and then he became the dude, and arguably the most devastating pitch in all of baseball. Oh, yeah.
You
knew it was coming.
That's
what still couldn't hit it.
That's what made him great. What made him great was that you knew that slider was going to get thrown.
The cutter.
That cutter. Yeah. And you couldn't, it would just saw off your bat or you would just swing through it. You would miss it.
You knew, that's the thing. You knew it was coming and it did not matter.
Now, he's another one on my list, was never even supposed to be a pitcher. He didn't start pitching until he's 19 years old.
He was a tiny dude.
Yeah. Drafted by the Yankees as a shortstop for $3,000 salary. Or I guess that was his signing bonus. But, he didn't even discover he could throw that. He figured out that cutter in just like a warm-up round of toss, pitch and catch. And it was a staple of his career, and nobody could hit it. And he would shatter so many bats with that pitch.
I mean, when he came in the game, other teams looked defeated. I mean, the game felt over when he came in. And, I mean, just a postseason legend. The guy just...
Some of his stats, though, all-time saves leader. 652 regular season saves. Ooh. I don't know if that one's ever getting beat.
No, I mean, and that entrance, the Enter Sandman entrance, he just kind of walked out there calmly with just a serious look on his face. It was great to watch.
13-time All-Star, 5-time World Series champ. And I think he had 2 others that they lost.
Diamondbacks and Marlins.
Yep, all-time World Series saves leader, also with 11. Lowest career postseason ERA. Guess what it was?
Under 1, like 0.4?
0.7.
0.7. Crazy.
Incredible.
Couldn't touch the guy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was my number 3 as well. Super fun to watch.
Super humble, too.
Now, here's one more awesome fact. He is the only player in history to be unanimously voted into the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
It's a no-brainer there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you guys both had him at 3?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, my number 3, I also have a 5-time World Series winner here. And this guy played for both of our franchises. As a kid, this reminded me of sitting my grandparents' screened-in porch with Brad. They had this like green like AstroTurf thing. Grandpa always had the Mets games on. One of my favorite Mets of all time, David Cone.
Oh, yeah.
David Cone, 7-2 postseason record. In 1988 with the Mets, he came over to the Mets from the Kansas City Royals. David Cone went 20-3 with a 2.22 ERA. Fast forward 10 years later, he's on the Yankees in 1998. A 10-year gap between 20-game winners. He won 20 games in 98 with the Yankees as well. He's a 1994 Cy Young Award winner with the Blue Jays. Just a nasty split-finger fastball. He was known for that, and a slider. They were the go-to pitches. David Cone threw a perfect game in 99 with the Yankees.
Yep.
I remember that one.
Also had an immaculate inning in 1991. A 9-pitch, 3-strikeout inning with the Mets. They call that an immaculate inning. And in 91, he also had a 19-strikeout game. David Cone was a bulldog on the mound. He was one of those guys that, he wasn't the biggest. He didn't throw the hardest, but he was going to compete out there. I loved watching David Cone.
Big David Cone fan.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that splitter, the bottom would just drop out of it.
Nasty pitch.
Number 2?
Number 2.
The big unit.
That's my number 2 as well.
Randy Johnson.
Same wavelength.
Yeah. We'll take the lead on this one, and I'll fill in the gaps.
Look.
1988 to 2009.
This is a guy, 6'10", long flying hair everywhere, pitches 100 miles per hour or more.
Looked like he smoked 2 packs of cigarettes every day.
Randy looked like he could have been like the bass player on one of our 80s bands. Things.
Metal band.
Yeah.
I got an interesting fact after this involving metal bands.
He threw gas, and you didn't always know where that ball was going.
No.
So you could see pitchers enter the batter's box scared of what was going to happen. He was just so dominant and intimidating. But Randy Johnson, that guy, he was just so much fun to watch.
Remember John Kruk in the All-Star game?
Oh, yeah.
Getting in with the hat backwards, going to the opposite
That's a perfect
side.
example. That's what guys would
Larry
want to do.
Walker was another one who did the same thing. John Kruk wanted no part. He was figuring out where is the furthest part of this batter's box that I can get in.
Yeah. What can you say about him? 5-time Cy Young Award winner. He won 4 Cy Youngs in a row with the Diamondbacks.
That's crazy.
Just elite.
4 in a row. Perfect game. Threw a perfect game in his career.
Yep, perfect game and a no-hitter. Aside from the perfect game, he had another no-hitter.
Yeah.
World Series MVP with a 1.04 ERA. He won 3 games in that series against the Yankees.
Yeah, he was a stud.
The dude literally exploded a bird with a pitch.
Unreal
One of the
moment
craziest
in
moments.
history. Yeah, how does that happen?
So listen, one of the wildest things that I've personally ever seen on a baseball field.
Yeah.
Same thing. I was playing my freshman summer after my freshman year of college. I'm playing in one of these wood bat leagues. We're in the playoffs. We're at Hampton War Memorial Stadium. It's like this iconic stadium in Hampton, like wooden grandstands. And there's a kid pitching for the other team. Now the difference is this guy threw an off-speed pitch. He didn't throw anywhere near the Randy Johnson velocity.
Oh.
He hit a bird. The pitch hit a bird on its way to the plate. Bird drops out of the sky, dies. Do you guys know that when that happens, it's a ball? It's considered a ball on the pitcher.
They considered Johnson's a dead ball. It was a spring,
literally
a spring training game. This ball, this bird disappeared, except for a cloud of feathers, and then it was like cartoonish how it happened.
It was crazy.
Let's see though. There was another, the All-Star moment again with the batters putting on their helmets backwards, kind of.
But Jimmy nailed it. That was what made Randy Johnson so dangerous. So early in his career, before he had real success with the Mariners and Diamondbacks, early in his career with the Expos,
yes,
Randy Johnson did not know where that ball was going.
No.
And I believe, you got to look this up, there was someone, I don't know who it was, they gave him some advice on pitching. It was a pitcher himself. I don't know if it was Nolan Ryan. I can't remember who it was. It'll come to me. I'll try to remember to bring this next week. Gave him some pitching advice that changed the trajectory of Johnson's career. It really helped him with his control. But that was something that was always in the batter's mind. And when a guy is that big, what was he, 6'11",
6'10",
something crazy?
Yeah.
Imagine when he's reaching out, how close that ball is.
And the trajectory coming down, but he also had that like sidearm delivery.
Yeah.
And you could find him during NFL games as a sideline photographer. That's what he does for a living.
That was one of the most devastating 1-2 punches in baseball postseason history, him and Curt Schilling. You want to talk about another big game hunter? Curt Schilling was a guy you wanted on the mound. If there was a big game that you needed to win, that was a dude you wanted pitching.
I think he's in a mental hospital now, but he was a great ball player.
Yeah.
Those Seattle Mariners teams, I almost traded to being a Mariners fan during that time. Ken Griffey Jr., Jay Buhner.
Well, and the colors were amazing.
Edgar Martinez.
Yep. Yeah.
One of the greatest hitters of all time. Young A-Rod. You had Randy Johnson.
Did Paul Molitor on any of those teams?
He was a Brewer. I don't know. I know he was on the Brewers and Blue Jays.
I don't think he was on that team, but
all right. Well, we got to keep it moving.
Oh, real quick though. You mentioned him being a photographer now.
Yeah.
The logo for his photography business is a silhouette of a dead bird.
Yeah, that's great.
You got to YouTube that if you've never seen it. My number 2, Brad. That was your number 2 also, Jimmy, right? Yeah, my number 2, Brad already mentioned it, Jacob deGrom. I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. Back-to-back Cy Youngs, like Brad said. I always say, imagine this guy's numbers if the Mets had run support for him and could hit. What really stood out to me, though, effortless velocity. He just looked like he was just playing pitch and hitting triple digits. Another big what if. Couldn't avoid the elbow issues, but was another guy that could swing the bat, too.
He's still a top, at least probably top 10, top 8 pitcher
when he's
in the
healthy.
league.
I think his first year with the Rangers, he was like 2.9 ERA or something.
Well, last year was finally the first full season he's had in a while. He pitched 30 games last year.
Yeah. Brad, number 1. I have a feeling me and you have the same number 1. Go ahead and start us out.
It's the professor, Greg Maddux.
Same.
No one in the history of baseball had more control and could put a ball exactly where he wanted it than Greg Maddux. And did not throw for velocity. Guy barely broke like 88 miles an hour.
Usually pitched between 88 and 92.
But just pinpoint, and he'd set you up and hit you with that changeup. It would dive off the plate.
Yeah.
Illustrious career. So many records. Only pitcher to record over 300 wins and 3,000 strikeouts while issuing fewer than 1,000 walks in the same year. 18-time Gold Glove winner.
Yeah, he could field his position.
This is the most among all players, not all pitchers, whatever. All players in MLB history. 4-time consecutive Cy Young winner. Another one.
Yeah.
Which I think he won the first one with the Cubs, and then
go look. Pause. Go look at Greg Maddux stats between 1993 and 1998. This was in the realm of that for some of those Cy Youngs. In 94 and 95, back-to-back seasons, Greg Maddux posted an ERA of 1.56 and 1.63. That is unheard of during a very live ball era. Balls were flying out of the ballparks during those years.
There is only one hitter who ever had like real success on him was Tony Gwynn.
Yeah. Yep.
But he won. This is, I think, one of the most impressive stats to me. He won at least 15 games in 17 straight seasons.
It's incredible. His longevity had a term named after him. Literally, a Maddox is a complete game shutout with fewer than 100 pitches. He did that 13 times in his career.
Incredible. Crazy.
His ability to get guys to swing at balls just off the plate or that were moving and ground out. Again, to throw a complete game shutout in less than 100 pitches, you're not striking a lot of guys out.
No,
you're letting your
double
defense
plays.
You're letting your defense do the work. Brad, do you want to tell the Jeff Bagwell story or you want me to?
I got another fact, so I'll let you tell it. But durability. This guy, in 23 seasons, spent 15 days on the disabled list. And that was one stint.
Yeah.
So he never got injured, never missed starts. The guy was just a machine.
Known prankster during his career. You talk to ex-teammates, they say Maddox was disgusting. You'd be in the shower wondering why something warm was running down your leg. Just known absolute deviant prankster in the locker room. Great story that just showed how smart Greg Maddox was.
Yeah, this was a game of chess for him.
I believe this was back in the 90s. The Astros and Braves were always battling in the postseason, either late 90s or early 2000s. And regular season game, Maddox is pitching a gem, and he gets the catcher out there, and he tells him he's gonna hang a pitch to Bagwell. Gives up a home run to Jeff Bagwell on purpose. The catcher's pissed off. He's like, what'd you do that for? He said, I'm setting him up. We're going to play them probably in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. He's going to be looking for this pitch. He said, hitters always remember their successes. Sure enough, a couple months down the road, same situation comes up. What does he do? He strikes out Bagwell. Maddox would call his own games with signals to the catcher because this is a great pitcher, keeps the defense involved. What you don't want when you're playing defense is a guy who's out there taking a sweet time, strolling around the mound. So to save time, Maddox he'd have all these different things that he would do to let the catcher know what pitch was coming. He called his own pitches.
He would do put his glove in front. He started the whole glove in front of your face because he let up a grand slam because the batter could read his lips and knew what was coming. So he started doing that. Put your glove in front of your face to talk.
I'm going to finish with this. Two things. If you have not yet, go watch the MLB Network documentary, One of a Kind. It's an awesome documentary about Greg Maddox. I'm going to leave you with this. Greg Maddox is a part of one of the greatest Nike commercials of all time with Tom Glavine. This is during the juiced ball era. The chicks dig the long ball commercial. Him and Tom Glavine, two elite pitchers for the Braves. They had arguably the best pitching staff in baseball for years, are in the cage trying to learn how to hit home runs because they say chicks dig the long ball. All right, Jimmy, who you got at number one? Wrap this thing up.
Yeah, let's talk about a fun pitcher to watch, and his name is Jim Abbott.
Oh, nice choice.
All right, Jim Abbott was born without a right hand, so he would pitch and field with both his left hand, and it was electric. He'd have his glove on his right hand, he'd throw the pitch, and before he could even blink, he'd have his glove on his other hand. And he was like a truly inspiring story in major leagues. Left-hander. And this dude threw a no-hitter in 1993, which is probably one of the more emotional moments in baseball history. Just the guy overcoming everything and throwing a no-hitter. But, I remember being a kid, seeing him for the first time, and just thinking, what am I watching? And then you watch him pitch, and it wasn't just a sideshow. He was like a legitimately great pitcher. But yeah, Jim Abbott, probably my favorite pitcher ever to watch pitch.
There's another great documentary out there on him and that no-hitter that he pitched.
Yeah.
Yep. That's an incredible story. Give me one or two honorable mentions, guys, and we'll wrap this thing up and get to our roundup.
Bartolo Colon. Yes. Come on. Just such an entertaining guy.
Yes.
When he's in the dugout, wherever he is on the field, he just The camera should be on him.
And he fits the theme of what we're talking about. Some of these Latin players who come into the league very skinny, and it doesn't take them long to start packing on the
No, he never stopped eating.
Once they start eating.
Every year in the league.
It was always just a big joke when he would, before the National League designated hitter, he'd have to hit. And he
finally got
one and only home run as a Met.
And his helmet's bobbling around on his head as he's going around. I got another big guy that Jimmy's gonna like on my honorable mention. This dude was built like a lineman, CC Sabathia. I used to love watching CC pitch.
Yep.
I had Barry Zito on my honorable mentions. Mike Mussina. Shout out to our buddy Brennan. Big Orioles fans.
Andy Pettit.
My first ever major league game that Brad and I went to. We went with our dad and a good friend and his dad to Camden Yards, saw the Orioles and Braves. Mike Mussina pitched in that game. I loved watching Tim Hudson when he was young with those Oakland A's teams. Barry Zito, that 12-6 breaking ball. Zach Greinke.
I used to like El Duque. In the league. Dontrell Willis.
Yes.
Dontrell Willis
had that high leg kick. He had that high leg kick. Wore his socks up.
Prime Kershaw was fun to watch.
Oh yes.
Another great unique delivery.
Dennis Eckersley. And then
who's the closer for the Giants?
Lincecum.
Yeah.
Oh, Tim Lincecum.
Yeah.
He's a little dude.
Another weird wind-up and delivery.
Are you talking about the guy with the big mustache? Rod Beck.
He was fun to watch.
You know who else was awesome? I don't think he gets nearly enough credit for how good he was. John Smoltz. Starting pitcher, then turned into a relief pitcher, would get saves, and everyone always would say he was probably the best athlete on those Braves teams, just all around. Guy's a phenomenal golfer. Smoltzy, tore up the Mets for years, but he was another gem. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun doing the research for this one. All right, well, we're going to wrap. Any other honorable mentions? Anyone else you guys want to get out there?
No, I know it's boring for most people. Baseball, pitchers and catchers.
I love it.
I live for a 1-0 pitcher duel. I'll watch all
in and out
163 games this year.
In and out in 2 hours and 15 minutes. You get that doesn't exist anymore. Guys don't throw more than 5 or 6 innings, unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our roundup. Just a few things this week, Brad. Before we get to Pebble Beach, you want to take a minute and give your NC State Wolfpack a little shout out here.
Go Pack!
Butt kicking.
Despite UNC's top players, what's the center's name?
Vasir.
Yeah, but then Caleb Wilson, that hurts them big time. Despite that, it was the largest margin of victory for the Wolfpack over the Tar Heels since 1967.
Hey, take what you could get.
We beat them we whooped them by 24 points. It's always nice playing at home in Raleigh. That stadium packs them in. I think it's a big advantage for us to have home games against these conference teams. Like we got Duke at home this year too. But one of my favorite guys to watch here is Kadir Copeland. He's a senior over there, long and lean, just a smooth player all around. He's the team's leading assist guy. He gets his rebounds. He just put up 20 points against Carolina. Then you got Darian Williams. But someone I'm excited about as a freshman is Matt Abel. He dropped 5 3-pointers this game, 19 points. Should have a bright future. I'm pumped about Will Wade being the new coach. We're 5th in the ACC right now, sitting at a 10-4 conference record. Got a 19-8 overall record. We are going to be one of those bubble teams. We need to stack up a few more wins here coming down the road. We got UVA at UVA next Tuesday. That should be a tough matchup. If we could pull off a win against UVA, that'd be good for our
come down to crunch time in the ACC.
It is.
That's right.
By the way, you guys see the kid from UCLA, I think, the coach kicked him
out of the game. I heard about it.
So this was crazy because they were down by 27 points or something. And to me, it looked like he was just playing hard. I feel like he actually got a piece of the ball, but he did come in really hard and hacked at the other player. and his coach wasn't having it, and he threw him out of the game. He told him to get to the locker room in front of everyone. And I know there's a lot of people that didn't like that. There's a lot of controversy around it, but I don't know. I mean, I think that's more of because UCLA is just getting their butts kicked and the coach is so angry that it was kind of, instinct. But
those frustrations.
Yeah, even Tom Izzo's like, I've never seen that before in all my years of basketball. So
that's wild.
Crazy.
Well, speaking of getting kicked out of the game, our 3-leg parlay got disrupted. We were well on our way to
wild brawl.
Yep, but. Yeah, our guy,
the guy that I
picked got kicked out.
I think 8 or 7 guys got kicked out.
It was a terribly hard foul, though. That was ridiculous. He should have been kicked out just for the foul, and then the reaction, it escalated quick. But yeah, we ended up with an L for the first time in a few weeks in our parlays. We will be putting out another one this weekend, so keep an eye out for it.
Yeah, and we're going to wrap up Pebble Beach. Golf season's starting to heat up a little bit. Golf is in such a good place. If you follow golf, there is so much good young talent. Colin Morikawa ended up winning a fun final round at Pebble Beach. The weather started to get interesting. We had Scotty Scheffler making a charge, went 9 under on Sunday to get back in the mix.
Couldn't get all the way up there.
The dude is a top 5 machine, though. He seems to always do what he needs to be in the mix. Yep. Rory had a good weekend. We got to talk a little bit about this Chris Gotterup guy. Has 2 wins already on the season. Yeah. Again, golf is in a great place with the young talent. You've got guys like Scotty Scheffler, Xander Schauffele, Colin Morikawa, Tommy Fleetwood, this Chris Gotterup guy. We talked a few weeks ago about the young kid that shot a 60, Blade, whatever his name was. And I don't think we gave enough credit to his name. I mean, that's a name that sounds like it should be on American Gladiators. What an iconic sports name, Blades. But yeah, I get excited. Again, like baseball, golf may not be your cup of tea, but when the majors start coming around, golf's a great thing to have on in the background on a lazy or Saturday or Sunday.
And I'm pumped. Brooks Koepka is back on the PGA Tour. I don't think he's played yet, but he will at some point play. And we got Bryson DeChambeau teasing us that he might leave LIV, so it could be.
That's what I was just getting ready to ask. Aren't these guys starting to come back to the PGA a little bit?
Only certain ones at this point are allowed.
I think if you won a major, or there was another caveat.
Whoever's best for ratings is allowed back.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen. Well, next week, tune back in because we're going to be getting in college basketball starting to heat up. Yeah. We got these teams getting into conference games. So we're going to have some college basketball themed things, and you will not want to miss a little debate between Jimbo and myself about the Duke-Carolina rivalry.
Should be a good one.
Yeah, I think we're bringing in a judge from the 11th district.
We'll have a little surprise for you next week.
The judge from My Cousin Vinny is going to be here.
I do declare. As always, please hit that subscribe button. Give us a like. Share us with a friend. We appreciate your input.
Yep.
Put your top 5 down there on the list, or give us a couple pitchers and catchers that you love to see from your time. And we'll catch you guys next week.
See ya.